I've been doing social media now at Hoyle Tanner for a number of years. With the growing platforms and the availability for people in your communities to be online. A lot of you, how many people in the room have a smartphone? Okay, let's start with how many people don't have a smartphone? Okay, so we're down to 3. No, it's one of those things.
Three oldest guys in the room.
If you asked this question a few years ago, you would have had like a 50-50 split. But now that you know the internet is becoming more available, more and more people are starting to join social media platforms.
I have a flip phone.
Clip or flip?
Yeah.
Does the power crank when you open it?
Like rotary dialing to get it to work.
It's on a party line.
Yeah. So today, what we're going to do is we're just going to talk a little bit about why now. Like what about now makes it a good time for communities and businesses to be online on different social media platforms, and how they can utilize those platforms to increase what they're doing in their communities. We'll cover a little bit. I did pick just a few of kind of the top brands for platforms, because what you'll find is that depending on what platform you're on, there are different demographics. So if you're trying to reach like 30 to 45-year-old women, Pinterest is really where you want to be. But if that's not really the demographic that you're going for, Pinterest may not be for you. So not every platform is equal on which demographics you get. But so I picked just the top few that we'll be covering, and then what I tried to do is compare the different platforms so that you can see from just a basic standpoint, like how they're similar, you know, what they offer, those types of things. And then I did put together a slide just on like the basic, a lot of the time that you would spend on something like this, because what I hear a lot of is, well, I already have a job, and my job takes me more than 40 hours, so how can I fit this in? So we will cover just basically, you know, what you can offer for people to be doing this in your time frame that you're willing to give them. So why now? This seems to be the question. It's like, well, what about now makes me want to join it versus last week or next week? You know, why now? And what we try to say is, there's engagement. A lot of you work for municipalities and you're looking for your community members to get involved. And how many people attend town meetings regularly? Anybody? Okay. So there are a number of you that are attending town meetings, and how many people in the town meeting that you're attending are the same people you saw the last time, and the time before, and the time before? Yeah, I'm seeing nodding. Okay. So this gives you an opportunity to interact with the audience that may not be showing up to those public meetings. You know, it offers an opportunity for you to share the information that you have as a community leader with those who either A, can attend the public meetings, or B, don't attend the public meetings. So when you're trying to get funding for a project, or trying to get buy-in, or trying to get people to know about a road that may be closed, or a bridge that's being worked on, a sewer that's being replaced, those types of things, you know, you can share that information with the people that you may not be reaching with the general, more traditional methods of reaching the public. Then there's also the opportunity to provide transparency within the government. I know that a lot of people are looking for them to understand and start saying, okay, well, this is what they're doing, and this is why they need the funding that they're petitioning for. So it provides you an opportunity to share that transparency and say, you know, these are the issues that we're running into on a daily basis. You know, if someone lives on the west side of town and then they go the opposite way, they may not be seeing the issues that are happening and the things that are going on the east side of your town. So doing that allows them to start seeing some of the issues that you may be facing. We're also looking, I was talking, Court and Scott were providing me some insight on, you know, what municipalities are looking for, because being in the private sector, I use social media a little bit differently than how you guys would. But he's, you know, Scott was saying it's good propaganda. You know, it's good. We can start sharing the good things that our people are doing within our communities, the things that we can change, and the things that people can start seeing us doing that they may not see if all they're doing is attending that public meeting. So it's sharing that day-to-day, that good PR that you can share with your local residents. You know, and then it offers an opportunity for everybody to get empowered and to get involved. If you're looking for, you know, volunteers, or you're looking for new board members, those types of things, by them interacting with your community government, you may be able to get them involved more often. There is limited time requirements to make it work, and there are different things that you can do to kind of save yourself some time along the way. And then as far as I'm concerned, it's simple, and the majority of the ones that you can sign up for are free. So if it's free and it's somewhat easy and there's not a whole lot of time involved, it might be an opportunity for you to take advantage of. So as I was saying, you know, you guys, towns have public meetings, and you know, depending on how often you have these public meetings depends on how many people will actually attend your meeting. And if it's on the same night every week and someone has to work that night every single week, then they're not going to be able to go. But what it does is it limits how many people you're actually getting to communicate with your community and start providing insight and feedback into what is going on in the community that they live in. I found some statistics when I was putting this presentation together, and it says 88.6% of U.S. adults attend one or less public meeting annually. So I'm sure when everybody started nodding their head and they're saying, yeah, like the same 10 people show up, according to this, it's 11.4% of your people. So the other thing that they say is that approximately 48% of U.S. adults will never attend a public meeting in their lifetime. So if public meetings is how you're spreading your news and spreading, you know, and trying to get buy-in from your local community members, public meetings appears to be going down in attendance, and this may not be the proper way of reaching those people. So here is just a simple graphic, and what it does is it shows like how many people are in each of the platforms, and how many are active on those platforms. So you'll see Facebook is the biggest circle. It's got 1 billion people on the platform. Obviously that's worldwide, so you have to start kind of gauging. If you start reducing those numbers by how many are in the US and then how many are in New Hampshire, you know, obviously there's a smaller percentage that's in your specific community, but Facebook is the largest platform at this point. So what I did want to highlight is that 78% of US adults are already online, and they're on one form of a social media platform, be it Facebook, Google+, Twitter, LinkedIn. 78% of US adults are already social at this point. So as I was saying at the beginning, there are different numbers of users on each of the platforms. The demographics do vary depending on the platforms. So if you're looking to reach your local business community, LinkedIn may be an easier way to reach them than to reach them on something like Facebook or Pinterest or something like that. So depending on what target you're looking to reach depends on which platform would be best utilized. But overall, Facebook is the largest platform that more people are using. Each of the platforms that I'll cover today, with the exception of MindMixer, has analytics involved in it. MindMixer's analytics are slightly different. It gives you some analytics, but it doesn't measure the same things as Pinterest or Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Those are the 3 others that I'll be covering. So each of them offer analytics based on like the demographics and such. And MindMixer does take those into account, but it gives you different options to utilize the analytics for. So let's get started on the platforms. I started with Facebook because, again, Facebook is the largest platform for social media at this point worldwide. And their goal is to give people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. Has anybody heard of Facebook's initiative to start spreading the internet worldwide? So Facebook is actually spending a lot of time and a lot of resources, and they've opened up what they're calling internet.org. And they offer it to developing countries as well. So they're really big on spreading the news and spreading the wealth. So they're offering a free internet, and there's limited resources that they can get with the free internet. But they are really striving for this sharing and connecting people. That is their ultimate mission, is to make sure that people are connected to one another. So as I said, Facebook has over 1 billion people using it, and 890 million of them use it daily. So, show of hands, who has a Facebook account? Wow, okay. And how many of you use it daily? And how many of you have the app installed on your phone? So almost all of the people that raised their hand and said, yes, I have Facebook, yes, I use it regularly, oh, and yes, I do have it installed on my phone. So you're the people that are these 890 million people. You know, you're part of that. So for those of you that aren't on Facebook and don't use it regularly, all you do is share text, pictures, and videos. That's essentially, is anybody else sharing anything different? No. Text, pictures, and videos, that's all it is. And it's just a matter of sharing a message. So if it's you posting about, you know, your kids or your grandkids, you're sharing a message and you're sharing a picture or a video about that topic. So businesses and communities can be using this platform to do the same thing. And so, like for Facebook, they call it a company page. So you can have a company page for your municipality. That's how you guys have it set up, right? As a company page. So the City of Keene Department of Public Works, they're using it as a company page. So they go on there as a company page. You can have multiple administrators. So I asked the question of, Court, why do you have the City of Keene's Department of Public Works separated from the city? Like, why is it not one Facebook page? And he was saying that it's best utilized for his group. They assessed it and they said, it would work best for us if we did it as just the department. And that way people can follow the messages from just our department. They can see the road closures and what's going on with plowing and those types of things all through our department. And that some people may not want to follow the Department of Public Works. There are other communities that do it as a whole entity, so you could do the town of Epsom. And it could be all the departments feeding to one Facebook page. So they would learn about the library hours closing if the weather was bad, or you know, the Department of Public Works or the rec department. Those types of things can all be fed into one page by adding multiple administrators to that page. So for some of you that are looking at it and they're like, oh, I don't really have a lot to contribute, if you start thinking about, well, if you did something on Mondays and then the library did something on Tuesdays, like you could really start to feed that content into just one page if that's how you wanted to approach it. So the pages were introduced, these company pages were introduced in 2007, so they do change a little bit as far as what they're offering, but they're always trying to provide you with new features that will help you with your business. For those of you that are unaware, Facebook acquired Instagram. Is anybody on Instagram? A couple, okay. So Facebook acquired Instagram, and therefore, like, there's a lot of features that they allow to kind of connect the two together. So when someone's posting on Instagram and they the local Old Home Day or something like that, when they tag it, they can actually tag your location. So the city will start, or the town will start to kind of get those messages about people being in your community. And people that are following your page can start seeing the things that other people are doing and what a great community it is to live there. The last thing on Facebook that I'll cover is the interaction. 44% of its users use the like feature, while 31% comment daily. So 44% of people are liking things on Facebook. So they go through and they're like, oh yeah, Susie, you know, graduated first grade today, I like that. While 31% are actually engaging and commenting and starting a conversation. So if you can utilize that 31%, you know, when you're trying to bring up different things that are going on in your community, 31% is a lot higher than that 11.4% that are attending your town meetings. Twitter, how many of you are on Twitter? A few, not nearly as many as Facebook. Twitter is a slightly younger group of people that are on it, but except for you, Carl. So, you know, they're looking to give everyone the power to create and share ideas, information instantly without barriers. And what I hear a lot of is, I don't understand how to tweet. Tweeting.
I get graded later. I tweeted a picture of you doing this.
Oh, good.
We'll see if it actually
He
comes.
stayed awake in class, all right.
He's staying
She's
awake.
been trying to teach me for 4 months. We'll see if I pass it to her.
So for Twitter, what I tell people is if you want to talk to someone or you want to talk at someone, then you use the little @ symbol. And if you want to catalog a topic that you're talking about regularly, that's when you start using that hashtag symbol. So, so that's essentially the gist of Twitter. For those of you that aren't on Twitter, you're very limited on your characters. So Twitter is not necessarily a place that you're going to have a really long, lengthy discussion about a topic. You're going to be sharing information, sharing ideas, tweeting about the town meeting, tweeting about presentations that you're texting in the back of. But those types of things. So it's one of those things that when you're talking about a topic, you know, if it's about social media, you can hashtag social media, and then anybody that wants to know a little bit about social media or what they're covering can do that. But what you can also do is set up your own hashtag. So if you have a town meeting or the city of Keene does the Pumpkin Fest, if you create your own hashtag, when people are talking about it and they're taking pictures and you're looking to kind of capture that information, if people are using that hashtag, you can go right into Twitter and enter your hashtag and see how many people are involved in that conversation and how many people are at your event that are using social media. But you can also use it to, you know, gauge the conversation. Are people not happy with things that are going on? Are there things that can be improved upon from, you know, the comments, the raw comments and the raw feedback that you're getting from social media platforms like this? So there's 288 million monthly active users. For those of you that are on Twitter, how many people have the app installed on their phone? Okay, so the majority of you that are on it, again, are actively using your Twitter feed. And then the last fact is the 500 million. 500 million tweets are sent per day. So there's a lot of conversation that's going on that you may not get. Do you have a question?
I do. What if you, like if you use a hashtag for the topic of conversation and it was close and I didn't say Keene Pumpkin Fest, I just went pumpkins and Keene. Would it pick up on that same conversation? Would it be able to find it?
It won't, no, because what it does is it's saying you want all things that are exactly like that.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying if you wanted to use it for the Pumpkin Fest in Keene, Keene could have a sign or a message or something like that that says hashtag, you know, Pumpkin Fest or hashtag 2014 PF. You know, like you would come up with your own hashtag that you could then use and encourage people to use it. So that way you're not having to filter through, you know, another community that may be doing something similar.
So it
in
doesn't
another
pick up on
state.
keywords or?
You can do a search for keywords,
Yeah.
but you'll end up filtering through a lot of conversations that may not have anything to do with the event that you're actually attending. Yeah.
I had two questions. One is with Twitter, you can't really manage the stuff that goes to the hashtag, correct? So like King's
No.
Pumpkin Festival. So anyone can put anything out there. There's no way to manage what goes out there, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The other question I
You
have
can
is,
respond
yeah, okay.
if you're doing a search on the hashtag and you see this at is going to be who the person is. So like if you're looking for me, I'm at Nick_D today.
Yeah.
So if I'm tweeting about the Pumpkin Fest and you see my comment and it's not glorious, you as a community leader can go through your account and actually respond to my tweet.
Okay. And then the other question I have is if you have an event, is it better to do like a hashtag in the event or with the date in it? Is it better to have like if you have an annual event that's going to come year after year,
Yeah.
are you best to do like the event, the hashtag in the event name, or like tag on the year? I'm just curious what your thoughts
I
are.
think it depends on how big your event is and how many people you think will be using it. Like, if you look here, I bring up hashtags here, but hashtags are now being cataloged in all social media platforms. So you can hashtag in Facebook, you can hashtag in Twitter, you can hashtag in Instagram, you can hashtag in all of them.
And it all goes to that? Like
Well, it
I'll
doesn't
be
all
honest, I
go
don't
to
use
that,
Twitter yet, so I didn't know how. I've been seeing that on Facebook,
Yeah.
and I didn't know. So when they
So, like,
hashtag
when
there,
you-
it's going over to.
No, it's not going over to Twitter, but what it's doing is Facebook is now cataloging that hashtag. So now you can do a search in Facebook for that hashtag and it will bring up that topic that people are hashtagging. So if I said hashtag black shoes, you could do a search and see if anybody else is talking about black shoes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any other questions before we move past Twitter? No? Okay. Then I get into LinkedIn. How many people here in the room are on LinkedIn? Keep your hands up. How many people in this room don't have a picture on their LinkedIn? So that's a big no-no. When you're meeting people and you're establishing yourself as a community leader, it's really great for people to be able to get to know you. So if you don't have a picture, I would highly recommend a headshot. Shoulders up, doesn't have to be anything glorious, but we should be able to recognize you. Preferably not anything from 20 years ago. If you're all laughing, but I have seen it. I've seen a lot of it. So the point in LinkedIn is to stay connected professionally. So if you're on if you're involved in local community, events and things like that, LinkedIn does offer groups. For those of you that aren't familiar, you can set up groups. So if you're looking for like a forum or a place that people can toss out ideas, things like that, you can set up a group for the Pumpkin Fest if there's a committee that puts it together, or the Pumpkin Regatta. You can set those groups up, and people can have candid conversations inside there. You can throw out ideas, and people can respond back to them. Share what other communities are doing or things that you saw that you don't necessarily want to share with anybody else. So you can set these groups up, and you can block them so that someone has to approve the person to, like if someone asks to be part of your group, that you can approve or decline people who are looking to join that group. Do you have a question?
Sure, Nicole. I'm signed up with LinkedIn. I don't really use it that much.
Yeah.
My picture's not on.
Your picture.
And I got the flip phone too.
Yeah. You can use LinkedIn on your computer as well.
I continue to get these emails that says somebody has endorsed you as for proficiencies in different
Yes.
things, and what does that mean? I mean, what happens with that? I don't
Yeah.
quite get that.
Yeah. So for your profile, you tell your profile that you have different skills. So what are you good at?
stormwater, pavement management.
So you would list those skills on your profile. So what's happening is your peers that you're connected with are saying, oh yeah, he already knows about these things. Yes, I endorse him for it. So the skills that you have listed at the bottom of your profile are skills that you're telling the public, yeah, I know all about these things. And then other people are saying, yeah, he really does know about them.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what that is. So I didn't get into too much on personal profiles, but I do have a PowerPoint presentation on LinkedIn if you're looking to develop your profile that I can share with people as well. Like I said, I've been doing this for a while, so I have a presentation that I recently did as a lunch and learn in our office to kind of get people more involved in what's going on. LinkedIn is a personal brand management type platform. So it's telling the community what you really want them to know about you professionally. This isn't where you share pictures of your dog or your cat or your kids, but it's more of the things that you're doing to advance your career, advance the community that you live in. It also helps with if you're trying to hire. We do post like employment opportunities and stuff like that on LinkedIn as well. Different publications and articles about things that we've been working on. So those are all things that you can share on your personal page, but those are also things that you can share as a company. So as a municipality or as a community, you know, you can offer the basic types of things that are going on in your community, what local events are coming up, when the town meeting is, you know, if the library changes their hours or the Parks and Rec department is opening a summer camp that they're offering to local community members, things like that. So all of those things can go onto your company page for LinkedIn and share with your local community. So it says 347 million members are on LinkedIn worldwide, and over half of the 600 million professionals are on LinkedIn already. So a number of you are on LinkedIn but may not be utilizing your profile. This is a great way. I was discussing it with Carl and the different things that are being offered through groups and tips for, you know, what the changes are going to be in different regulations. There are groups for everything, and you can join these groups and start to learn more and find out what the conversation is being had about a topic just by visiting your LinkedIn page. So if you're not already using it, I would suggest there is some ways that you can kind of get your feet wet and start to kind of develop that. For those of you that attend today's presentation and you're looking to develop your profile, there is an opportunity for you to shut off the notifications to your network when you start to change a bunch of things on your profile, so that everybody isn't saying, oh look, he added 5 skills. You know, if you're looking to change your profile drastically, and today is kind of the kick to get started, then you can shut off the notifications to your network, so that way they're not getting notifications that you've changed a bunch of different things on your profile. So, 40% of the 347 million people that are on LinkedIn are using it daily. So, for those of you that are looking to get involved more in LinkedIn, you know, this is a fairly low number. 40% is a lot lower than the numbers that you're seeing on Twitter and on Facebook. But it is a great professional development tool. So there are different articles and different blog posts and different publications that are going on the platform itself that I think a number of people could actually benefit from. So if you're not already part of that 40%, I would strongly recommend that you start kind of joining the conversation, because the conversation is being had already online. Mind Mixer, I know Court is using it. Is anybody else in the room using Mind Mixer? No. Anybody else in the room know what Mind Mixer is? You do, okay. So, there's one. So Mind Mixer is a fairly newer platform. It was established in 2010 by a couple of planners, community planners that were you know, presenting to local town meetings and stuff. And they were looking for a way to get their message out to the more than 11.4% that are showing up to these town meetings. So it's geared for, they're calling it civic, which is the municipal sector, education facilities, design professionals, and state and federal governments. And what it is it's a platform that creates the opportunity for you as the community to establish these ideas and then start getting feedback from the people in your community that are already online that may not be attending your public meetings. So I was doing some research on this because we haven't used MindMixer yet, but we are looking at it. And they were saying that a lot of communities that are either really widespread and kind of spread out, or there's a lot of communities especially here in like the Lakes region that have like, people have property here for the summer, but then they go away for the winter, those types of things. So you're able to get some of that conversation from all of those people who may not be here year round. So there was a community out in Michigan that's using it, and they said the town's kind of divided in half by a lake. So the people on the side of the lake where the town meeting was being held, but the likelihood of people coming from all the way around the side of the lake to the town meeting was limited. And they said that they found a lot more usability from people who are already online and joining the conversation. And they were able to get people to start buying in and understanding and looking at things from a leader's perspective. So they're able to see, you know, 3 projects that the town is looking to do, and then they were able to see kind of the budget and how it would affect the funding for other programs if they elected to do one project versus the other. So it was more of a strategic planning that they were able to kind of get the community involved in without having to do it from a public meeting standpoint. So when I was doing some research, I found there were about 250 communities in the US that were using this platform in 2012, I would imagine. I heard some figures in like the 300 range at this point that are using it. But it is an opportunity for you to present these ideas to people and have them start feeding back their insight on it. And so what they do is they can link, like you can sign in through like your Facebook. I'm sure some of you have seen this on different websites, but you sign in through like your Facebook account or your Twitter account. That's kind of how this works, is that those people can sign in. So it's not conversation that's being had from unknown people or anonymous people. It's actually people who are linking their profile and actually providing you with the feedback that's necessary to start thinking about how you can utilize these projects and their feedback on what they would like to see as community members. Any questions? So I did the basics on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So a lot of people are like, okay, there's lots and lots of platforms. How can I figure out how to use these? So what I did was I just kind of compared them going across. So if you're looking for language, this is the language that they're using. So if you're on Facebook, you can like something, but if you're on Twitter or LinkedIn, you're gonna follow something. So as a business, this is how they'll follow you. So if on Facebook, they're gonna like your page, on Twitter, they're gonna follow your page, and on LinkedIn, they're gonna follow your page as well. So this is kind of, I won't read through the whole thing, but it just outlines, you know, if you're looking to do the same type of function on all of these platforms, these are the different kind of words that you'll use. So here you'll see auto link from pasted URL. I did add that in. What happens is a lot of people are like, I don't have a whole bunch of time to be spending on this. And I don't know how people make it all fancy so that the article shows up and the picture shows up and all of that stuff. On Facebook and on LinkedIn, if you copy like the URL from a blog or something like that and you paste it into the status update box, it will auto-generate like a picture and the snippet of text that goes next to it. So when you're typing and you say, here's the latest, you know, the meeting minutes have been published from the latest town meeting, you can paste in that URL and it will bring them right back to your website, but it will show that snippet of information. So a lot of people are like, I don't know how to do this. All you do is copy the www at the top and you just paste it right into that status update bar. As I said before, the demographics on the different platforms are slightly different. So if you're looking to reach younger people about topics, you know, the initiatives that are going on in town, one platform may be better than another to utilize it.
Nicole, I'm gonna say, on ours, our statistics, our highest percentages are 25 to 55.
For
For
people
our
who are
Facebook,
following.
us. Yeah.
And how many followers do you
We're
have?
up to 523.
Okay.
Same thing for our Parks and Rec, they have over 1,500, and it's still in that,
Yeah.
more in that higher range, which is fascinating to see. We're creeping into that late 40s, 50s now.
Yeah, so, and those are potentially, you know, established professionals that you may want to be involved in community decisions and fully understand, you know, at 20, people are like, oh, you know, I hit a pothole. At 50, people are like, what does the pothole really mean? And how can we be fixing this problem, right? I'm sure everybody in the room is like, oh, potholes, potholes, potholes. Yeah, so, so if, you know, if those people are looking to find out what is going on in the community and what the town is doing or the city is doing to remedy the pothole issue, Port can be posting about, you know, cold patching holes in the pavement, and community members are maybe less likely, I'm not gonna say they are definitely less likely, but they may be less likely to complain if they can see that you're out trying to remedy the problem, and that, you know, when you're not interacting, you're not sharing information, they don't necessarily know what you're doing. So, that's all right, so allotted time. As I said, there are lots and lots of platforms that you can be on, and that you can spend all day on there if you really want to. But allotting time is as simple as, you know, 1 to 5 hours a week. So if you can find 1 to 5 hours a week, or your crew can find 1 to 5 hours a week, if someone's spending 20 minutes and another person's spending 20 minutes and another person's spending 20 minutes, you know, it starts to really add up, and it allows the work to kind of spread amongst the staff as well. So how many, you said that your staff posts as well as you, correct? How many people do you allow to post to your page?
As many as we can get consistently. It's my superintendents, so it's about six to seven, and my 2 admins, so we have about 9 people who post, and we try to post. I would ask for something at least once a week.
So he's not necessarily spending 1 to 5 hours a week posting. The group is spending 1 to 5 hours a week for posting. So I understand he's part of a larger community, that not all of you have 9 people in your group that are willing to post or able to post. But it is something that, like I said, if you're in a smaller community and you're thinking maybe, you know, you do one combined Facebook page for the entire community where you share all of the information that's going on in town, then you can have 1 person from every department or 2 people from every department and start kind of sectioning it off, so that, you know, at the end of the week you can say, okay, next week we'll have, you know, we already have some material that we can cover from the end of this week. We can start posting at the beginning of next week. One thing I didn't cover is, like, Facebook, you can schedule posts. So if you have 20 minutes right now and you can think of 3 posts that you want to do, you can post them and then just click the little clock and tell it when you want it to post, so that you don't necessarily have to be posting at 11:35 on Tuesday. If you think you're going to be busy, you can schedule it on Monday for 11:35 on Tuesday, so that you can start to kind of spread out your content. So it's not like 5 posts today and then nothing for the next week. So, so you can do that through Facebook. Like I said, multiple contributors, by having multiple people involved in helping with the buy-in from your community members, you're able to start getting content that you may overlook as the leader of a department, or you know, your road agent may have a different view than your librarian on what people might be interested in hearing about. So, and then there are a few social media platforms, or they call them social relationship platforms, such as like Hootsuite. Has anybody heard of Hootsuite?
Use MailChimp.
You use MailChimp, okay. Yeah, so something like a MailChimp or a Hootsuite, what you can do is you can sign up and you link your accounts, all of your social media accounts, to this one platform. And then what you do is you update all of your platforms there, and you can schedule things in there as well. And when the scheduled time hits, it will post to all of your platforms. So if you decide that you want to join LinkedIn and you want to join Twitter and you want to join Facebook, you post in one platform and then it will push the message out to all of those platforms. So what I would say is that if you're not already social or getting to the point where you're going to be social, maybe you start with just one platform and then you start implementing others as time becomes available or as your comfort level increases. That is all I have. Does anybody have any questions for me before I grab a read? No? Okay. Do you want to start? Yeah.
I have a question on filtering among your staff. Like, it sounds like Keen had several different people that were posting. Is somebody checking on what's being?
No. No.
So
I just let them go. I mean, that's the issue.
that's scary.
No, it's not scary.
To me, it would be very
If
scary.
you don't trust your people,
Then you
who
don't-
are you going to trust?
It's not so much a matter of trusting, but there might be ways of communicating information and that you want to have a little handle on.
Well, I guess it's all in your control. For me, these are the people who are going to take my place most likely. My assistants, my superintendents, they're going to be moving up. These are the people today that people are coming up on the street and asking them questions. These people today are already saying things out there. So I have to trust it. For example, my highway superintendent twice a week is on the radio. And I encourage him to do that. He has his own 15 to 20 minute little blog on with the local radio host. And he says whatever it is. This morning, somebody called up and asked him of his opinion of Pumpkin Fest. You want to talk about a political issue right now for me? Pumpkin Fest is a political issue. He did a very good job in handling it. He was able to do it. I mean, I taught these guys over the years on these kind of things here, but that's the reality. You're being supplanted every day because your folks are out there, someone's stopping them on the street while they're pushing the asphalt, while they're doing something, and they're saying, hey, what's going on? What about this? What do you think of this? Joe Smith operator. So it's sort of, yeah, there certainly is. You can get in trouble, but I don't know. I'm at a point now where I can get in trouble just walking down the street.
Okay, so what I would like to add is that if someone posts something, if you're signed into your Facebook account, you can set it up so that you get notifications when people start interacting with it, so that if you don't know it got posted, you will shortly when people start to like and comment on things. And all of the administrators have the ability to edit posts that are already up there. So if someone posts something and there's a spelling error or you want to change the wording, you can do that just by clicking the little down arrow and actually editing the post. So if there's something that gets posted and you're not a huge fan of it, or you thought maybe it could be worded slightly different, or you want to add something to kind of clarify something that they posted that may be a little unclear, you do have the ability to do that, as well as comment beneath. So if someone sends a comment and it says, oh my God, I just hit a huge pothole, on 2nd Street, you can say, thanks for letting us know. I'll have someone take a look at it in the next 72 hours or something like that. And that way you're at least showing that you're acknowledging people talking. So there's different ways around it, but what I would stress is really kind of honing in on what you want your message to be. If you're looking to share content with people, and you want it to be, you don't necessarily want it to be one voice, but you'd like it to be a similar voice, then maybe when you start adding administrators, you have that conversation about, we're looking for it to kind of always stay positive. We don't really want to be pointing out negative things like that. I think they're basic common knowledge type of things, but I would say those conversations can be had before you start adding administrators. That's how I would handle it. Yeah?
Are there any statistics available on voter impact with respect to participation? Salem is one of those 11% communities where only a couple thousand people decided many millions of dollars for somewhat of a substantial sized community.
Right.
So are there any statistics available saying that because of the social media that the voter turnout increased by 3%, 4%?
I haven't seen any specific correlation between what you have on social media and what the attendance rate then becomes with something like that. But I think the ability to share information about town meetings and stuff, you may be reaching people that may not already know that your town meeting is going on. So you're spreading the news a little bit further by offering that type of information through social media and saying, hey, our town meeting's on Tuesday. These are the topics that we're going to be covering, and we'd love for you guys to come and give us your feedback on how these millions of dollars are going to be spent. I think then you'll start to reach the people that you're not already reaching with the information about when your town meeting is happening, where, those types of things. Does that help you?
Yeah.
I don't have any statistics on the direct correlation, but I think, Court, do you know, have you guys gauged anything as far as?
I guess anecdotally for us, and I guess over the years, we've had a fairly aggressive public relations program. I have a philosophy that we're really good at fixing things. We get frustrated because people won't spend the money on what we do, and I believe it's because we don't tell them. So over the years, we've had an aggressive program, whether it's at our city councils. And what I've seen is when I talk to the council and I talk to the community, the first thing they start talking about is, well, what can we do to get the roads fixed? What can we do to make sure we have enough sewers? So that to me is sort of the feedback that I'm taking as positive. Is it's not the battle anymore of saying why we need to do it. It's now how can we do it? So I think that's really for me, that's not an actual number. I can say that I'm getting more city councilors voting on my $3 million bonds for road construction. It's more of talking about what can we do, how can we get this work done. So.
Do you
Sure.
guys want to kind of give a rundown of what platforms you're using and how you're using them, maybe?
Sure. I just my version is somewhat short because Court actually is who I've his system has been up. How long have you had a Facebook page now for?
3 years?
3 years, and we've basically been up and running since I believe it was the end of November, first part of December, that we actually put our Facebook page into effect. And the reason why we took so long actually in doing that, I was a police chief for 11 years in the same community. We had a website and things were, that was kind of the old way of doing things. Folks, when they surf the web, they kind of looked at people's websites, and then social media kind of broke into it, and then there was some concerns with social media in regards to policies and who's going to post and who's going to administer and things of that nature. And I think we got a little bit better refined in that. In our community, the rec department actually, they were the first ones to actually have the Facebook page. And of course, they've got a lot of likes. Once again, doing that demographics from the younger generation, people that have children that are in the rec department and programs. And what we found was we wanted to have our own page as well. And it was basically the ability to give positive and informative information out to the people. And we have in Moultonborough, we actually have a couple different systems through our own town website. We have a news and announcements. We have a red banner that can be posted on our town website. but only certain people subscribed to that, and it was basically, we found that there was some older generation folks that did do that as well, but there was some younger folks that didn't subscribe to that technology, so we kind of said, well, let's see if we can capture both sides of it by doing this. The other part is, it's been very frustrating for me from coming from a public safety background and then now coming in the public works background is I consider public works as a first responder, and I've been involved in emergency management for over 25 years, and it's very frustrating that, you know, unfortunately there's that black cloud that sometimes hung over public works. You know, what's orange and sleeps free, and I said, you know, I want to dispel that and promote the good work that's actually done by our staff. I think staff is becoming far more professional. It's, you know, we're doing more technical type stuff out there. You know, we still have a diverse work group. I'm not saying everybody's into that mode as of yet, but if in fact that's the direction that we're headed, then we need to promote that. So we use our Facebook page not as aggressively, I don't think, as Keene does, just because in Marlboro I have 16 full-time staff, including myself, with 3 different divisions within the department, so I only have 2 administrators. I have myself and another person who happens to be tech savvy. As we know, some of our staff, if in fact we have a small staff, a lot of them that are in this type of business in public works are not tech savvy. And you know, some of the new generation coming in, and that's what I did. I grabbed the guy that I identified who was tech savvy, and he and I went for a ride one day, and we created a Facebook page in a dump truck. And believe it or not, we rode around, we brainstormed about it, and between he and I, we opened it up and started it. So, you know, we put a bunch of various posts on it. As you can tell, most of it's been all weather and winter related that's up there. Taking a few photographs. We're one of those unique communities. I have no idea why, but it's been like this forever. We still actually plow in the wintertime, plow and take care of winter maintenance on all private roads, which is close to 200 miles in my community. And with that, I throw out some pictures that weren't real pretty, just to kind of show that they have to do some maintenance to their private roads to help us maintain them. And so we showed about snow drifts and things that we're combating out there. So when they get my nice letter that says, unfortunately, we're not going to plow your road any longer unless you take certain maintenance steps in order to improve it to allow us to still continue to do that. So we threw up some photographs in regards to that, put our road postings on there, you know, any road closures that are there, weather conditions. Those are those links that we throw up for the weather. We've been very cautious about putting up anything that is anything of any political controversy there, just to try to keep it, you know, very, very much a information tool as such. And we put up a short video here on, this was actually at Long Island Beach. If anybody's been down Marlboro Neck Road, there's Long Island Beach, and this was the drifting, blowing snow being down there. It was like blizzard conditions that I hadn't seen for a long, long time. We still have snow piled up about 2.5 stories high down there from the snow drifts. But we've taken some video clips. We've started using liquid treatments on some of our parking lots and roads with a salt brine or a super brine mix. And so we started putting that information out so the people, which it brought a little bit of information and some dialogue, but the dialogue that actually has been with most of the posts, as you can see, most of it is all likes and very, very few comments. So try to keep things that are not real controversial coming up. That way, you know, I was concerned that we would get some of those, you know. My mailbox has been hit 3 times. I thought we would get people that was, I was happy to see that I would be able to, you know, block some of that stuff out, because that was one of my big concerns was that, but on the other hand, I'd like to have somebody ask that. I had a gentleman come to the highway garage yesterday. He said, my mailbox has been hit 3 times. I said, I know, I hit it the last time. That kind of slowed the conversation in its aggressive mode because the boss actually was the one that hit it. And I told him the deficiencies with his mailbox and as to why it got hit. But if in fact somebody had that dialogue, and we did have that on there, And it brought up a great point, and one thing that I want to put on there is people are going to have to fix a lot of mailboxes this year, is to put out that information as to what, you should really have for those standards. We have it on the website, it's been there for years, but a lot of people just don't go to that, so you have to refresh them and put that information out. But we found it's been very good. Only been up for just a few months, 310 likes, and I think it'll actually get larger. We've started to promote it a little bit more. Our spring newsletter that went out, we've got on there. Like us on Facebook. Talking to Nicole today, she gave me another thing that you can take your actual mailing list and upload.
You can take all those email addresses and you can import it as a company administrator for the page. You can import it into Facebook, and it will send out a notification letting them know that you're on Facebook and to like the page. So if you have questions and you're getting started, feel free to contact me, and I can kind of walk you through that if you're looking for assistance with that type of thing. But that is something that I've been doing it a while, so I kind of overlook some of the simpler things. But he was saying, yeah, we sent it out in our newsletter, and I was like, you can actually send out the invitation right through Facebook, through the importing your contacts type of field. So one thing that I would stress when I'm looking at your posts is that when you post here, so he's on his company page and he's posting these posts, one thing that I would stress is that your post is now being fed to all of the 310 pages of the people that like your page. So right now when he posts something, if all 310 of those people are online, this post is going to show up in that news feed when they log on to Facebook. So that's kind of how this works. The moment that someone likes, comments, or shares your post, it will then go out to all of their friends. So if I like something that Scott posts, not only is it going to go to his 310 followers, but it's going to go to my 350 friends on Facebook. So now your reach is getting a lot larger. So when you're looking at what they call the analytics of your page, sometimes you'll see, like, when you're first starting, you're like, oh, I have 50 likes, but I've reached 350 people. That's how that happens. So it gets posted to your 310 people that are following your page, and then the moment that someone starts to interact with your page, that like, comment, or share, that then gets fed to there. So it says, oh, Nicole liked Molten Borough's post on, snow plowing. One other thing that I would comment is that if you're looking at these posts, you'll see that they're all text. If you're looking for it to get more engagement or to be ranked a little bit higher when Facebook is deciding what to post on people's news feeds, add a picture. Pictures and videos actually will rank higher than all text posts. So if you're looking to reach more people, add a picture, even if it's just the street sign. So he's saying, sometimes I post when a street gets closed. If the street's closed, take a picture of the street sign and post the street sign. It doesn't really have any value, the picture of the street sign, but Facebook will rank it a little bit higher and they'll put it inside people's newsfeed for you.
People really enjoy the winter pictures, and any pictures that you end up putting on,
sure
those are like on
sunsets
fire.
still like.
It's just like, as far as getting likes
Yeah.
and that type of stuff, we saw that. As soon as I did the first doing liquid treatment on a section of the road, I shot a video following the truck actually doing a liquid brine treatment. And as soon as I posted that, it was like on
Pop, pop, pop,
fire.
pop. Yeah.
It was like everybody was going, what is this? And so it was pretty neat to see that. The hard part is training yourself to take that extra second to take a picture. Like the road posting one, we've got the the orange sign, and certainly could have snapped a picture of that.
Yeah, and
thrown it up there with it, and it was just one of those things. I didn't take the time, to do that. And
yeah.
I've actually, I looked at my staff, and the majority of them, as we put hands up here today, probably 75, 80% of my staff all has a smartphone. And, we always criticize our staff. Listen, we don't want you looking at your phones, we want you playing with your phones all the time. And then you go and ask them, hey, listen, if you see something, it's
Take a
cool,
picture.
take a picture of it, send it to me, you know,
Right.
so that we can maybe look at it, see if it can be posted. So it's kind of a double-edged thing there, but on the other hand, you can kind of work it both ways, I guess. But because your younger generation coming in to the workforce, of course, is always fussing with that thing, and they can probably take some of the best pictures. So it's one of those things. I like it, and I want to promote the work that is done, and I just think that that's the only way that we can dispel some of the stigma and shift the tide that way in order to do that.
Sure. Well, again, Corp Blomquist, most of you guys know me, I'm a little crazy when it comes to this stuff. As I mentioned, we've
Just
been...
this stuff.
Yeah, just this stuff. There's a lot of things for it.
Fine. We're doing Facebook, Twitter, we're looking at Instagram. The city is using this thing called Mind Mixer, which I'll also show you. As I had mentioned earlier, I think we're already doing this. This is the thing I always hear from people, wow, I don't have time to do this. I hear this from my own staff. But, like I said, I've already been requiring them to do press releases. So when the engineering division's out having a construction project started, they got to do a press release. They're required to. Highway superintendent, or we have a water main break, my guys are getting really good about coming up and throwing a couple words down, put it out. As Nicole mentioned, my administrative staff have really helped. I had a young lady who got promoted within the city. Part of the reason was what she did with our Facebook stuff. Came up with some of these simple tools. Like I said, we use this thing called MailChimp, which again posts everything to all our various social media, along with sends the press release out to our email distribution list of contacts, city councilors, all the media presses, etc. So there are a lot of easy things that can be done. And a lot of this is not that hard. For right now, I'm in competition with our Parks and Rec department. Our library and Parks and Rec department have probably been doing this longer. The library was the first, Parks and Rec picked up on it. We talk about mentioning some insights. I'm logged in as an administrator.
I was just about to say, if you look here, you'll note that it does look slightly different than how we had Waldemoro's page pulled up. And that's because these are now, oh, you still need to do this.
I know.
But hold on before you scroll.
Oh, before I move.
So if you click here, there are different things that you'll get as a drop-down menu. But this is how your page would look if you're an administrator. So because Court signed in under his Facebook page, it's showing you kind of the insider look at things versus when we were looking at Waldemoro's page, you were looking at it as if you were a regular person on Facebook. So you'll notice that it does look slightly different, and that's the reason why.
What's cool, as I mentioned, you can do things like for us when, again, this person, my admin person, she came in, we originally sort of had it starting in 2011, but she said, well, if you update this information, now it shows us we came into existence in 1874. Starts this promotion. We've been around a long time. We're probably the city of Keene, our water sewer operations, we're probably the longest running business in the community. And that's sort of, again, part of what we're trying to do. As I mentioned, as Nicole and Scott both said, pictures and things are the way it is out here. This is our upcoming Green Up Keens we do every year. Really simple, again, information, go out, throw some photos up there, gets excited about doing it. We have a whole bunch of different ones. Talk about linking different things. This little video is not what we made, but it was made by the LCHIP folks. We happen to have a project that we had LCHIP funds from. So, we put a little post out about, hey, we had this really cool project on the Stone Arch Bridge. Oh, by the way, there's this video that talks about the LCHIP program and our project. So this is back to contact. Sometimes you think, do I got to make a lot of stuff? Do I have to have all this stuff? We're finding we can link to things, whether it's National Clean Water Week, whether it's whatever it may be. You can find something that relates to Public Works and link it, and create a little post for that week. Same thing I said for us. We're learning is we need activity. This is a little post my admin person did the other day. She says, "Oh, cool! Look, we got flowers coming up next to our walk-in." And as I mentioned, we talk about as an administrator, we can see how many people. So we had over 465 people clicked on this. What is it? It's a picture of some flowers coming up. I don't always get it, but it works. We're doing other things. Like I said, we talk about looking at some of the information, and we're starting to use the stuff more about who our users are and how we can tailor our messages.
Before you run away,
Yep.
can you click in here
Yep.
and type something?
Ah, sure.
It doesn't have to be anything spectacular.
Right.
Now, go ahead and click in.
Yep, on the post.
This is where I was talking about you can schedule something.
Right. It's real
So-
simple. Right.
So if you're looking to date something in the future, so that way on Monday you post all your posts for the week, it's as simple as this. You just click on the little down arrow, and then you tell it when you want it to post, and it's good to go. So for those of you that are like, I'm still not really sure about the time commitment, this is how quick and easy it is. So if you start with Facebook and you're looking to just kind of get your foot wet with social media, you add whatever you want here, and then if you want a picture or a video, you click here. And then essentially it's as easy as clicking the down arrow until it hits schedule and when you want it to work.
We use this for leaf collection. I don't know how many of you pick up leaves, but we pick up leaves. And what we'll do is, based on, again, looking at these statistics, we see most of our folks are looking at our stuff between 4 and 11 p.m. So we would put posts up here for leaf collection saying, here's the next section that's going to be done, and then they schedule it to happen at 6 o'clock at night. We're not there at 6 o'clock at night, but it goes up. And why? Because those of you on Facebook know, if you got a lot of friends, you got all kinds of stuff coming in on your feed, but we want our feed to be sort of the first thing they look at. So we know that like I said, we know that looking at our insights, which is interesting, is that for us, let's do this page over. This is the data that tells us about our people. And we didn't do this initially, we were just doing it. But then as we learn more about this kind of stuff, it helped us kind of understand more about how well our social media is doing. Well, that's thinking.
Yeah, that's a great point, is that if you think about like when are you the busiest, and then when you find free time to look at your Facebook page throughout every single day of the week, that's how you can start to think about like if you're trying to reach people of similar demographics or professions or things like that. You know, Monday mornings at 8 a.m. when people are just getting into work and they're just getting started with their day, if that's when you're finding time to post your social media, it might make sense to schedule it, even if it's just for a few hours out, and that way people have gotten through like the Monday morning crunch of what happened over the weekend that I need to take care of, what's an emergency, and then find that free time that they can be on social media. Because with everybody posting regularly on social media, unless a lot of people are interacting with your page, once you post it, if people aren't interacting, it's essentially gone unless they go to your page, because it's way down in their feed. So it gets to the point where they have to hit like show more, and not everybody does that. So being aware of like what time you're posting can help.